Good evening, children. Today, it's another weekend, starting of a weekend, Friday evening. So the story for this weekend is an English folk tale. It's called The Three Wishes. There was once a poor fisherman who lived by the edge of the sea in a tumble-down old cottage. So his cottage was very small, it was not properly kept. He lived with his wife, who was always grumbling, no matter how hard the fisherman worked. One evening, he threw the nets out for one last try before it was dark. He had caught nothing all day. As he began pulling the nets in, his hopes rose. The nets were heavy, but when he hauled them over the boat, there was only one tiny fish lying at the bottom. Then the fish spoke. The fisherman rubbed his eyes in astonishment. "Please throw me back into the sea," said the fish. "I'm so small, I would not make much of a meal for you." But the fisherman was tired and hungry. "Even though you are small, I cannot throw you back into the sea. If I do so, my wife will not be pleased," he said, and then he took a deep sigh. "I will grant you the first 3 wishes that you make in your cottage if you let me go," said the fish. "But I should warn you that the wishes do not always give you what you really want." Well, the fisherman did not hear the fish's warning. All he heard was the bit about 3 wishes, and he thought that finally his grumbling wife would be pleased as she would get whatever she wanted. So he carefully untangled the fish. So he took it out of the net, from the nets, and placed it back in the sea. With a flick of its tail, the fish disappeared deep and deep and deep into the sea. The fisherman ran all the way home and in great excitement told his wife all about the tiny fish. But instead of being pleased, she just shouted at him as usual. "Trust you to believe such a thing? Whoever heard of a talking fish? You must be daft, foolish husband." And she slammed down a plate of dry bread and a rind of cheese in front of the poor fisherman. "I wish this was a plate of fine sausages. I'm so hungry," said the fisherman. No sooner were the words out of his mouth that there was a wonderful smell, and before him lay a plate of sizzling sausages. He was delighted and reached for his knife when his wife yelled at him, "Why couldn't you have wished for something better? We could have had chests of gold and fine clothes to wear." And this came from the woman who had refused to believe his story a few minutes ago. "You stupid fool! I wish the sausages were at the end of your nose," she said. There was a ghastly silence as the wife looked at her poor husband. Hanging from the end of his nose was a great string of sausages. The fisherman remembered what the fish had said. The first 3 wishes will come true. The fisherman and his wife pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled at the sausages. But their effort was no good. The sausages were stuck fast to the fisherman's nose. There was nothing for it. They would have to use the last wish. "I wish the sausages disappear, said the fisherman sadly. And they did in a flash. So there they sat, the poor fisherman, his grumbling wife, no delicious supper of sizzling sausages, and much worse, no magic wishes. The fisherman never caught the tiny fish again, and as far as I know, his wife never stopped grumbling. Truly, wishes do not always give you what you really want. So don't, get into the trap of wishing all the time somebody asks you to. I hope you enjoyed the story and have a nice weekend. Thank you.